Good morning. Mackenzie Johnston with Tri-State Livestock News, bringing you your Wednesday morning headlines concerning fair cattle markets. Sponsored by Sandhills State Bank, the most committed brand in banking, and Sandhills Beef Company, American producers feeding Americans because monopolies won't get us anywhere. To learn a little bit more about Sandhills Beef Company, head on over to their website at sandhillsbeefco.com. According to ABC News, one of the 7 managers fired at Tysons Waterloo Iowa pork processing plant claims their betting ring was all just fun and games. Tyson Foods fired 7 plant managers on December 16th for betting on how many workers would get sick with COVID-19 at their Waterloo, Iowa pork processing plant. One of those managers is now coming forward claiming that the office pool was spontaneous fun and intended to boost morale. Don Merschbrock, a former night manager at the plant, said he is speaking out in hopes of letting the public know that the 7 fired supervisors are not the evil people that Tyson has portrayed them to be. Merschbrock stated that the managers would like their names cleared because they worked incredibly hard and took care of their team members. An investigation led by former U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder found sufficient evidence to terminate those involved in the betting ring, according to Tyson. Tyson did not release Holder's findings in the investigation, and the fired managers assert that they were let go without any explanation. According to Merschbrock, managers were given the impossible task of maintaining production while also implementing virus safety protocols. After working 12-hour days for 6 to 7 days a week, the managers were tired, he said. The office betting pool consisted of approximately $50 cash, which went to the manager who picked the correct percentage of workers testing positive for the virus. Those who participated in the pool did not think their actions violated company policy. The pool was conducted within minutes following the mass testing of the plant's 2,800 workers last spring. The exhausted supervisors that had worked so smart to solve so many unsolvable problems were just taking part in a fun activity, said Merschbrock. The group never meant to disparage anyone. An attorney representing families of deceased employees, Mel Orchard, said that protecting the plant workers from the virus was not an unsolvable problem. He went on to say that the issue was a corporate culture where executives focused on production and sales and treated line workers as dispensable items. Meeting Place has reported that yesterday, the government's 2020 through 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans were released with the theme, Make Every Bite Count. According to the guidelines, those bites should include more lean meat and fewer foods that contain animal protein that come in the form of a burger or a sandwich. 60% of American adults have one or more diet-related chronic diseases, according to a video outlining the guidelines. To counteract this, the guidelines offer a framework that puts emphasis on nutrient-dense foods that provide vitamins, minerals, and other health-promoting components with little to no added sugar, fat, or sodium. The guidelines reiterate that Americans usually consume way too many saturated fats, sodium, and added sugars, all the while not eating enough fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. The guidelines state that Americans meet or exceed the recommendation for meats, poultry, and eggs, but almost 90% of Americans do not consume the recommended amount of seafood, and almost half of the population doesn't eat the recommended amount of nuts, seeds, and soy products. 43% of all proteins are consumed as a separate item, such as a steak, a fish fillet, or an egg. 48% of proteins consumed by Americans involved a mixed dish. The biggest amount coming in the form of a sandwich, such as a burger or a taco, which sounds delicious. These mixed dishes often contain other ingredients that are not nutrient dense and are often high in saturated fats and sodium. The guidelines recommend replacing high-fat meats like hot dogs and bacon with seafood to help Americans eat less saturated fat and sodium. They also advocate for replacing processed meats with beans, peas, and lentils. Finally, National Beef Wire reported yesterday that choice box beef ended the day at $210.30. That was up $2.48. And select box beef ended the day at $195.48, and that was down $1.17. That is all I have for you guys this morning. I hope everyone's week is rolling right along. I hope you guys didn't get too much snow. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and I'll see you guys tomorrow morning.